On day 1, I rode out to Okutama from Tokyo, and I even made a friend along the way. After parting ways, I got some lunch and I started my climb of Yanagisawa Pass. The top is over 1,400 meters, which was actually the highest point on my whole trip. There we are. After a long descent, I reached Kofu, where I stayed the night. The first 50k of day 2 was spent climbing on an average 2% gradient up to the lake. From the lake, I climbed even higher to reach the town of Matsumoto, where I stayed the night. Day 3 started off in a valley, and it was much colder than I anticipated. It was all made worth it when I reached the Nakasendo, which is an old road that runs between Tokyo and Kyoto, and there's many old towns on this road. And once I reached the Kiso Valley, the sun started coming out, and it became probably the best day of riding on the trip. -1 degrees. The valley is surrounded by the Minami Alps, and it has some of the best scenery I've seen in Japan. It almost looks like Switzerland. After a late lunch in Sumagojuku, which is one of the small towns on the Nakasendo, I hit Magome Pass, which was the last climb of the day. Day 4 started with some climbs, but after the first 20k it was basically all downhill to Nagoya. The hotel staff in NAKATSUGAWA recommended me a temple, so I made a last minute route change to go there. And from there, I just followed some rivers to get to Nagoya. Day 5 was the longest day of the trip, over 160k, or 100 miles. After escaping the busy streets of Nagoya, I had to climb Suzuka Skyline, which goes from sea level to 800 meters. After descending and riding a plateau for a bit, I reached Lake Biwa, which is the biggest lake in Japan and also meant I was closing in on Kyoto. As I pushed up the last climb, I couldn't help but reflect on my journey. I remember thinking that travelling by bike is one of the best ways to see a country, because it's not too slow, it's not too fast, and you get to see a lot of stuff that you normally miss. After 5 days, I finally made it to Kyoto, so it was time to relax and enjoy myself.